Hey guys, this is Church, back at it again with another replay commentary. This time I'm doing the commentary on my Zorga Vs Nirvana, the overdressed deck. So I believe I'm going second in this game, and if Zorga getting inherited to Maiden Hendrina is very key to the gameplay, so I tried a hard mulligan, all 5 for it. I didn't get it. But I do have an order for the mechanics of my deck. So I discard a crypt to ride Rancor Chain. Using the Grade 0 skill, I draw, and Rancor Chain skill, Soul Blasting the Grade 0 to draw 2 more cards and discarding 1 order. And I just go for an attack. I get a PG, and it's my opponent's turn. Now my opponent's playing the overdressed deck, so they get their free Trick Star. They don't have the arcs, so they just get to overdress into Verena. I guard the grade 2, he attacks me with the Verena, I take it, and then I draw the Inheritance Maiden Hendrina, which is very important for the Zorga deck. I discard the Shark to ride the Black Tier Husk Dragon, which lets me add the order back to my hand, and I use Hendrina to mill 3 cards, unfortunately milling my overtrigger. So I just attack with the Vanguard, I get a crit, I give it all to Hendrina and the crit to the Vanguard, and I attack Verena because I like to bully the overdressed units because Nirvana doesn't use the cards to get the overdressed units back, and if they have to discard a card for a Trick Star and then play another card from their hand, they're losing their advantage. So he attacks me with Nirvana, and I decide to no guard. He gets a heal, I take a damage, and it just attacks for 40, and I believe I just take it, and he kills my Hendrina with the Verena's effect. So I decide to discard one of my triggers for Zorga and use Zorga's skill, which is counterblast 1 to revive something from the drop zone. So I revive the Hendrina again and mill 3 more cards with it because I needed a new order in there to use Alpha Magic. So I use the Nectar and Alpha Magic with the Spiritual Body Condensation that I milled. And the Nectar will give 10,000 power to Hendrina, and I'll Soul Blast 1 to revive the Black Tier Husk Dragon. And I believe that's all I do this turn. I just go straight for the attack. Zorga attacks the Vanguard for 13. I just get Grief, Despair, and Rejection, and a heal trigger that does go up, and I give it to the Black Tier Husk Dragon. So, like I said, I like to pick on the overdressed unit, so I attack it. And I attack with the Black Tier Husk Dragon, which gained 5,000 from Spiritual Body Condensation, 5,000 from its own skill, and 10,000 from the heal trigger, giving me 30k. My opponent guards. Goes to his turn. Persona rides. As you can see, my opponent has to discard a card, get Trick Star, plays another card from his hand to overdress, and he's losing his advantage rather quickly. He attacks me with the Vanguard, and I decide to take the hit. My opponent gets up front and another heal. So I take the damage, attacks me with the Valiente. I don't want to get hit with that, so I PG it. Goes to my turn. And here I'm thinking about what I'm going to do. So I believe I use the Vanguard skill to revive the Beauty Pulling the Sleeve, which the effect of this card is to take all cards in the buy-in zone and place them into the drop zone. And for every card put in the drop zone this way, she gains 5,000 power. So there was only one, which was my Spiritual Body Condensation, which I then used with Alpha Magic with Grief, Despair, and Rejection. So I can get a grade 1 booster for Hendrina and give the front row plus 10,000 power. And because of an order being played this turn, the Black Tier Husk Dragon and the Headhunter gain 5,000 extra power. And I go in for the attack. And I get 1 crit, putting it on the Vanguard, and another crit, putting it on the Vanguard, pushing my opponent all the way to 5. I attack with the Black Tier Husk Dragon for a 5k shield. He guards with a 15, telling me that he doesn't have many 5k shields. And now that I know his overtrigger is gone, I can go for no pass on the Vanguard as to keep my advantage and make sure that I'm going to win the game. Like I said, my opponent has to discard a card for Trickstar and place it on another card for Overdress to get the full advantage of his deck. I go for the 2 to break on Nirvana. My opponent gets a draw trigger, puts it on the rear guard, and nothing. Taps the Valiente to my rear guard. I guard it with the new 20k front. And taps my rear guard again, trying to limit my counterblast, which is fine. So I call Hendrina from my hand. And I don't think I used its skill. But I do use the Vanguard skill to revive a Zorga, because Zorga is the only unit in my drop zone that can attack without having to use an order. As you can see, I don't have any orders in my hand. So I just go for Zorga to attack, and then I'm just going straight for the Vanguard, so my opponent is already at 5 damage. He intercepts with the new grade 2, which is a 15k shield, and as long as it's in the overdress state. So my opponent discards and finally gets an Arcs off to get 2 more cards to his hand. Attacks with Nirvana, powering up all his overdress units. And I go for the no pass, I believe, on the Vanguard, because I don't want to die to double crit. My opponent gets a grade 2 Arcs and a grade 3. And he doesn't give me any counterblasts. Use Valiente, I guard the arena. I guard the Valiente. And looking at my hand, I have 1 order, and I decided to use the Maiden skill so that whenever I use Alchemy Magic, I don't have to pay the Soul Blast cost. And I also called Headhunter, which lets me reduce the cost of order by 1. So I decided to use the Squirming and Agony and Alchemy Magic with Grief, Spare, and Rejection. Luckily, I do get 2 normal units that I can use. So I called the Beauty Pulling the Sleeve and a PG. They both get +5 from the order, and they get they're not even using Grief, Despair, and Rejection to get +10 to my front row. And then Beauty Pulling the Sleeves effect, I get to take all the cards in my binding zone, which I have 2, put them into the drop zone, and give it another 10,000 power. So my Vanguard attacks for 30k to my opponent's Vanguard. And I believe my opponent decides to PG this. And I check a front trigger. And seeing my opponent's hand, he can guard, takes it, and that's game. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And please comment below what other matchups you would like to see. And look forward to my next upload. Thank you very much.